I have always believed that knowledge is power. A glimpse into the future, a mere whisper of what is to come, would be enough to change the course of fate. And why shouldn't I be the one to wield such power? I was beautiful. I was intelligent. I was persuasive. There was nothing I could not obtain. So when Apollo came to me offering the greatest gift of all, the sight beyond time, I did not hesitate. But the gods are never so generous.
Love me,
he murmured, his golden hands caressing the air between us.
and I will make you the voice of the gods.
I laughed. Did he think I would give my heart so freely? I wanted his gift, not his affections. I turned away. His face did not twist in rage, nor did he strike me down. No, his vengeance was crueler. He left me my gift, the sight of what is to come, but stripped me of the power to change it.
You will see the doom of all you love, yet your words will fall like wind upon deaf ears. This is my gift to you, Cassandra, and you will pray for death before the end.
I thought his curse meant disbelief, but now I know the truth. His punishment is far worse. The first time I saw the future, it was like drowning. I fell to my knees, clutching my throat, my vision blackening at the edges. Images tore through my mind like rusted daggers, smoke rising from the walls of Troy, the sky painted in hues of blood. I opened my mouth to scream, but only black bile poured forth, thick and reeking of decay. It dribbled down my chin, burned my throat, filled my lungs. I gasped for air. The court recoiled from me. "She's gone mad," someone whispered. My father, King Priam, looked at me with something that was not quite fear, but something worse. Pity. I wiped my mouth, my fingers stained black. "Troy will burn," I rasped. "Paris must not go to Sparta. He must not take Helen. If he does, we are all dead." Silence. Then laughter. The nobles shook their heads, exchanging knowing glances. "Poor Cassandra," they murmured. "She was always strange." Paris smiled, placing a hand on my shoulder.
"Sister, you worry too much. The gods favor us."
I stared at him, watching as behind him, his face melted into something grotesque. His skull split open, his flesh rotted away, his eyes sunken and black with death. But when I blinked, he was normal again. He left for Sparta the next morning. The prophecies did not stop. Each time they came, they took more of me. My body weakened. My skin grew clammy, stretched too tight over my bones. My hands shook. And always, after every vision, the bile would rise, spilling from my lips in thick, oozing waves. The people whispered, "She's cursed." She speaks of death, and death follows. She brings ruin. My father locked me away. Guards stood at my door. The palace halls echoed with my screams. I saw it all. The siege, the starvation, the slaughter, my brothers cut down, my father's blood staining the marble floors, my people screaming as they burned, and yet I was powerless. Helen arrived in Troy, her beauty shining like a cursed star. I lunged at her, shrieking, "You are death! You will destroy us all!" The black bile poured from my lips, pooling at my feet. The smell of rot filled the air. Helen did not flinch. She merely tilted her head, smiling, and whispered,
"Then let it begin."
The war dragged on. Years of blood, of bodies piled high at the gates. I warned them, Troy will fall, Troy will fall. But my words meant nothing. Then, one day, the battlefield was empty. The Greeks were gone, and in their place, a gift. A massive wooden horse standing silently outside the gates. No, this was a trick. I saw them already, the warriors hiding inside, their blades gleaming in the dark. I saw them emerging in the dead of night, slaughtering my people as they slept. I saw fire licking at the walls, the screams of children, the streets running red. The bile rose as I screamed, my voice raw and broken. "Burn it! Burn it now before it's too late!" They laughed. They called me a madwoman, a harbinger of doom. "Enough, Cassandra," they spat. "Enough of your madness." The gates opened. The horse was brought inside. That night, the slaughter began. I awoke to the scent of blood. The screams of my people filled the air. The Greeks were everywhere, their blades cutting through flesh, their torches setting the city ablaze. Smoke burned my lungs and I stumbled through the chaos, my dress drenched in bile and blood. The visions flashed faster now. Priam's throat slit open, my brothers' heads on spikes, the temple floors slick with gore. I saw it all before it happened, my mind screaming warnings that no one could hear. Apollo's laughter echoed through the flames. This was his curse. Not just that no one believed me, but that I had to witness it all. Again, and again, and again. I was dragged from the burning ruins, my wrists bound. The Greeks would not kill me yet. I was to be taken, a prize of war. I lifted my gaze one final time. Apollo stood in the smoke, his golden eyes gleaming. He had won. Troy was gone. But I remained, a prophetess of death, a ghost in my own skin. I would live, and I would see every horror yet to come.
The weight of the ring on my finger feels like a shackle. My wife, sweet and kind, sleeps soundly beside me, her breathing steady, unaware of the cold emptiness in my heart. I stare at the window, my mind consumed by the dreams. Dreams of him, Nosferatu. His presence haunts me, lurking in the edges of my vision, whispering to me in my sleep. His elongated fingers trace my skin in the dark recesses of my mind, leaving trails of ice and fire. I wake up trembling, gasping, craving something nameless and forbidden. Then came the letter. Herr Nock, my employer, has ordered me to travel to Transylvania to finalize a sale with Count Orlok. The townspeople recoil at the mention of his name. Superstition grips them, their whispers filled with fear. Yet deep within, I feel something else. Anticipation. As if I am meant to go to him. The journey is long, and as I cross into his domain, the world itself seems to change. The Carpathians loom like jagged teeth, and the wind howls like a chorus of lamenting souls. When I arrive at the castle, its towering presence fills me with dread and longing. The carriage driver refuses to go further. I step alone into the shadows. He is waiting. Count Orlok, Nosferatu, is unlike anything I have ever seen. His gaunt frame, his hollow eyes, the way the candlelight barely clings to his form.
You have come,
He says, his voice dry as withered leaves. Dinner is served, though I barely touch it. My hands tremble. My skin prickles under his unblinking gaze. I am trying to keep up appearances, to act as though I am here only for business. Then, in a moment of clumsiness, my knife slips. A thin red line blossoms on my finger. Silence. Nosferatu moves with terrifying speed. His clawed hand clasps my wrist, lifting my bleeding finger to his lips. A shudder courses through me, not of fear, but of something deeper, something I dare not name. His tongue grazes my wound, and a dizzying euphoria crashes over me. The world distorts, the candlelight flickers, and my breath hitches. He looks at me with something unreadable, something ancient.
you are bound to me.
I don't resist. That night, he comes to me. The walls seem to pulse, the air thick with something unseen. He speaks of my pain, of the chains that bind me. He sees through the facade, through the forced smiles and silent suffering.
You have always belonged to the night.
He whispers, his lips grazing my chest. When his fangs pierce my skin, I do not scream. I wake in my chamber, my body feverish, my mind altered. The puncture wounds on my neck pulse with a dark hunger. I am no longer the man I was, but I must return. Back in Wisberg, I play the role of the dutiful husband. My wife watches me with quiet concern. She senses the shift in me. We argue. She pleads for me to hold her, to touch her the way a husband should. But I recoil. Every night I turn away from her, offering only silence in return. My hands are cold. My heart no longer beats the same. And at night, I hear his voice calling me, his shadow stretching long against my walls. Then, the plague comes. Death spreads through Wisberg like wildfire. The townsfolk whisper of a curse, of Nosferatu's wrath. They blame me. They claim I brought this darkness home. The sickness festers, leaving hollowed bodies and empty homes in its wake.
The vampire demands a sacrifice, a pure soul, untouched, to appease him.
They said to offer a virgin girl. A strange sensation rises within me, a mixture of discomfort and hope. I do not understand it, but it coils deep in my chest, tightening with every whispered word. The night of reckoning arrives. I stand before the window, shielding her from their condemning hands. Then, he comes. Nosferatu emerges from the shadows, towering, spectral. His eyes lock onto mine, unreadable, eternal. My wife clings to me, trembling, believing she is the one he wants. But he does not look at her. He looks at me. I stagger back, the realization slamming into my chest like ice. It was never her. It was always me. His clawed hand extends. An invitation. A promise.
Your passion is bound to me.
Terror and longing wage war within me. The life I knew, the mask I wore, the expectations that bound me, all of it unravels. I was never meant for this world. I was meant for him. And so, I step forward. Nosferatu's arms close around me, his embrace colder than death, and yet, I have never felt more alive. As dawn breaks over Wisberg, I vanish into the shadows, leaving behind only whispers of a love never meant to exist in the light. I was 180 kilograms of disappointment. At least that's how I felt every time I caught my reflection in the gym's mirror. Every step, every bead of sweat was fueled by one single thought. Rose. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, her laughter ringing across the gym like music. I couldn't stay in the shadows anymore. If she wanted someone strong and fit, that's what I had to become. But weeks of torture on the treadmill and weights yielded almost nothing. The scale barely moved, and Rose didn't even notice me. Meanwhile, I couldn't help but notice how some of the most sculpted guys in the gym occasionally collapsed during their workouts. They'd be taken to the locker room, pale and shaky, but always came back the next day looking stronger than ever. It made no sense. Frustrated, I finally complained to my trainer. "It's pointless," I grumbled, and decided to let everything go. "I've tried everything. I'll never look like them." He gave me a sly smile and leaned in, lowering his voice.
"You're right. Workouts alone won't cut it. But I've got something special for guys like you."
From his locker, he retrieved a small black jar read, "Fastest weight loss protein."
"This,"
he said, tapping it with his finger.
"is the shortcut, a secret formula. It's 100% safe and guarantees fast results."
I hesitated, staring at the jar. What's in it?
Trust me, Bulk. You'll thank me later.
Desperation won over logic, and that night, I took my first scoop of the black protein. It tasted bitter and earthy, but I gulped it down, chasing it with water. The effects were immediate. Within days, my body began to transform. My gut shrank, my arms swelled with muscle, and my face, once round and bloated, gained sharp, chiseled features. Even my digestion improved. For the first time in my life, I felt confident. Rose even smiled at me one afternoon, and I swear my heart nearly stopped. But then, strange things began to happen. One morning, I noticed an itch in my throat, a constant tickling that wouldn't go away. My skin taut over my new muscles, sometimes felt like it was crawling, as though something moved beneath the surface. And then, there was the jar. I'd been going through it faster than I thought, and as I scooped out the last serving, something caught my eye. Inside the powder, something squirmed. My stomach turned as I fished it out. A tiny black leech, wriggling between my fingers. I dropped it, horrified, and stared at the jar in disbelief. What had I been drinking? At the hospital, the truth came out. The doctor showed me the scans of my body, his face pale. My muscles weren't muscles. They were writhing, tangled masses of leeches. These creatures had burrowed inside me, feeding on my fat and growing, giving the illusion of strength. I confronted the trainer the next day, holding the jar in trembling hands. He didn't flinch.
Relax. They're harmless. They only feed on excess. When you're ready, there's a pill to flush them out. Isn't this what you wanted? You're strong, healthy, and Rose notices you now, doesn't she?
His words twisted in my mind. He wasn't wrong. For the first time, I had what I'd always wanted. So I ignored the itch in my throat, the occasional stinging under my skin. I kept drinking the protein and enjoying my newfound body. Until the morning I couldn't breathe. It started as a scratchy feeling, but quickly turned into suffocation. My vision blurred as I gagged, clawing at my throat. Something inside was moving, writhing its way up. I stumbled into the gym, collapsing at the trainer's feet. "Help me!" I choked out, blood spilling from my mouth. He reacted immediately, forcing me onto the floor and yanking my jaw open. His hand disappeared into my throat, and I felt the unbearable tugging of something alive being pulled out. I screamed as the creature fought back, scraping against the walls of my throat. Finally, with a wet, sickening pop, it came free. The leech was massive, writhing and dripping with blood. The trainer tossed it aside, but the damage was done. I lay on the floor, gasping, my body trembling. When I finally mustered the strength to sit up, I caught my reflection in the gym mirror. The man staring back was unrecognizable. My skin hung loose over my skeleton, my eyes sunken, my once impressive frame reduced to a hollow shell. The trainer crouched beside me, smirking.
Well, Bulk,
He said, clapping a hand on my shoulder.
you've finally hit your goal weight. Congratulations.